Let's discuss the extraordinary vessels, principles, and functions. The primary channels are the rivers, the extraordinary vessels are the lakes. In some of the classics, the extraordinary vessels are compared to reservoirs which stores excess yang, yin, qi, or blood, releasing it into the primary channel system in times of need. With the exception of the renmai and lumai, they do not have their own points, but they can be accessed through and are connected by points on the primary channels. Okay. All extraordinary vessels, with the exception of Daimai, with its horizontal trajectory, begin at the lower extremities or in the lower part of the torso and travel to the head. They can be activated by needling their opening and coupled points. Reservoir and compensation function. When the network vessels, the primary channels, are filled to overflow, none of the conduits could size any of their contents, and it is only then that the surplus contents of these vessels flow into the single conduit vessels, the extraordinary vessels. The Nanjing compares the extraordinary vessels to reservoirs, which are able to absorb a surplus of qi and blood in the primary channels, releasing them again during periods of deficiency. For example, if pathogenic factors penetrate the primary channel system, this excess can be absorbed by the extraordinary vessels. This will ensure that the Sangfu organ remain unaffected. In that sense, the extraordinary vessels have a regulating compensation function. Next, in reproduction and fertility, the Chongmai and the Renmai in particular, but also the Dumai, play an important role in reproduction and fertility. Connecting the primary channels, the Chongmai, also known as the Sea of the 12 primary channels, connects the primary stomach and kidney channels. It also strengthens the connection between the Renmai and Dumai. The Renmai, as the Sea of Yin, connects all yin channels. The Dumai, as the Sea of Yang, connects all yang channels at Du 14. The Daimai circles the body at the waist and binds the vertical trajectories of all 12 primary channels in general, but especially the Chongmai, the Renmai, and the kidney, liver, and spleen channels. The Yin Wei Mai dominates the interior of the body and connects the kidney, spleen, and liver channels on the Renmai. The Yang Wei Mai controls the exterior of the body and connects the bladder, gallbladder, triple burner, SI, and stomach channels and the Dumai. The Yin Chao Mai connects the kidney and bladder channels and controls balance. The Yang Chao Mai connects the bladder, GB, SI, LI, and stomach channels and control activity. In addition, the 8 extraordinary vessels are regarded as connecting channels for the extraordinary food organs. Protection of the body, the Chongmai, Renmai, and Dumai circulate the defensive qi, Wei qi in the thorax, abdomen, and the back, and thus help to protect the body against external pathogenic factors. Due to their origin, they are also directly linked to the kidneys, the pre-heaven qi, and the constitutional forces. Comparison of the 8 extraordinary vessels with the primary channels. So we have the primary channels and the 8 extraordinary vessels, point trajectory, specific bilateral points. In 8 extraordinary vessels, only the Renmai and Dumai have their own points and the internal pathways. All other extraordinary vessels borrow points from the primary channels. The 4 central vessels are unilateral except for the Chongmai, which also has a pathway on the extremities. The 4 peripheral vessels are bilateral. Next, in circulation, the primary channel continuously circulates nutritive qi and blood. In 8 extraordinary vessels, circulate essence qi, nutritive qi, and defensive qi, but according to some authors, they do not have a continuous flow of qi. Next, in depth, the primary channels, we have the superficial external pathway and the deeper internal pathway directly connected to their pertaining Sangfu organ. In 8 extraordinary vessels, compared to the internal pathway of the primary channel, they are more superficial compared to the external pathway of the primary channels. They are deeper. They have no direct connection to the Sangfu organs, but their origin, especially of the 4 central vessels, lies deep within the body. Next, in connection, the connections, the primary channel, they connect the exterior and interior through internal, external pathway and through yin-yang channel, as well as above and below hand-foot pairing axis. In 8 extraordinary vessels, they do not connect the interior with exterior, nor do they connect yin and yang. Next, we have the function. The primary channel guide access to the 8 extraordinary vessels or to other secondary channels. The 8 extraordinary vessels reservoir function, excessive qi and blood in the primary channel flows to the 8 vessels and are stored there. In times of deficiency, they are transported back into the primary channels. Next, in diagnosis, the primary channel, diagnosis have on-channel theory, meridian therapy, in TCM according to the Bagang, Sangfu, pulse, and tongue. In 8 extraordinary vessels, diagnosis is characterized by specific arrays of symptoms and specific causes.